Pizza time.
Pizza time.
Ed, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Good. I mean, we just had a great conversation about Godzilla Minus One.
Yes, we did.
That's coming up. This review is actually going to post before it. But yes, it was a great film. I don't know in India do you guys like Godzilla? Do you care about
That's
Godzilla?
a great question in general, though. Like, how does other foreign cinema get into?
Yeah,
India?
yeah.
Is it just American movies and Indian movies?
Yeah,
I don't know.
or is it American? Is it like are the only people that care about Godzilla are Americans and Japanese cinema?
I don't know. Do you have Godzilla Minus One?
Yeah,
Because if you do, go freaking see it.
Yeah, go see it. Wait for the review. If you don't want to see it, we'll give you a breakdown on why you should still go see it.
Yes.
Anyway, we're not talking about that today.
No.
Actually, we did talk about that today, but right now, we're not talking about that. We're actually talking about a very highly requested movie, and we thought it would be fitting to watch this film since we're going to watch one of his most recent film later this week. So we decided we'd watch his first film. Worked out pretty well. Munna Bhai, M.B.B.S. is what we're talking about today.
Yes.
The first film from Rajkumar Hirani, the director of course, probably one of our favorite films of all time, Three Idiots.
The GOAT.
And yeah, he might be a GOAT. He is 100% so talented as a director, as a writer, just absolutely crazy talent. Also directed PK, Mir Khan. Oof. Both movies, really great. But yeah, today we're talking about that. We're going to give us a full review, no reaction. Sorry guys, you got a reaction. Thank you so much to everybody that watched the reaction of KGF Chapter 2. See, we liked it way more than KGF Chapter 1.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Some of y'all are still not paying attention. A lot of you are like, see, we thought you knew you'd hate it. We literally said it's better than the Chapter 1 and that we thought it's good. It's better. It's better.
I didn't hate it. Definitely didn't hate it.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's better. Yash is a star. He's a superstar.
Rocking
star. Yes. Anyway, again, not talking about that. But if you haven't seen it, maybe we'll put a card in. Well, I don't know where it goes.
Probably over my head.
One of these areas. Anyway. Well, Munna Bhai, M.B.B.S. I added an extra B there. Sorry. Basically, it is a story of a criminal who sets out to fulfill his father's wishes and become a doctor. He's been living a lie for 10 years, pretending to be a doctor in what I can only explain is a very, very hilarious and hectic scene to start the movie out, which was brilliantly done. And it stars a lot of people I don't think we've really seen before.
No. Few we have, but some we haven't.
Yeah, a few we have, but a lot of people that we have not seen before, which is really cool to see some new actors. Sunil Dutt, Sanjay Dutt, Doot. Maybe I'm saying that wrong.
Yeah,
Apologies if I am. Gracie Singh, definitely saying that one wrong. Right. I got that one right.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, but yes. Anyway, it's we're gonna. I'm losing my mind here. Sorry.
You got it.
Anyway, where do we want to start? We want to start with just overall thoughts of the movie. We're gonna cut out the rest of this part. So Ed, what did you think of Munna Bhai M.B.B.S?
Yeah, I really love this movie a lot.
Yeah.
I think it. I think what it does is that if this is Rajkumar Hirani's first movie, it's very much like the first the precursor to all of his other films, because it's very much his film. You can tell it is because of just like a lot of the themes are similar, in particular to Three Idiots. A lot of his the signatures of the of camera movement and blocking are all present here, and they're just as strong, dude. Like, this guy truly, I believe, is one of the GOAT directors of Indian cinema across the board. It's probably the closest I think we can get to sort of the more, I hate using the word traditional Hollywood cinema, but it is like he clearly is inspired by cinema of the old, and he brings it all here. This was a 2003 movie. It's not it's old by our standards now.
20 years.
But there's a timelessness about it because it's just it's a well put together film, well directed, well acted, all across the board. It's funny. It moves with such energy. I think one of the greatest things about him is that he directs with such energy. A lot of scenes have so much people on them, and they just keep moving, and the script is so good. And so in relation to Three Idiots, I would say it's not as perfect as I would say as Three Idiots. There are some little gripes I had, but overall, man, it's a fantastic film, especially for a debut. Great film. Had a really good time with this movie.
Yeah, I would completely agree. Shocker. It is a really, really well put together film. Like I said, from the get-go, it kind of grabs you with this chaotic sequence of
scene's great.
A man being shot at, and then it turns out, these guys are criminals, and then his parents come to town, and they got to like put up a fake hospital, which was just very, very funny, chaotic scene. Because like for the first like 15, 20 minutes of the movie, you're kind of like, wait, what the is going on?
Yeah, in a good way. In a good way, though.
In a good way, yes. Like you're still curious, so you want to know what's going on, and then the person they're holding hostage, his wife ends up coming in, and she has the million, and the parents are like, "What are you talking about?" And he has this great line, "Money can't save lives," but no, you can absolutely tell this is our third film of his that we've watched, and he has this like knack for kind of like making these characters relatable and taking you on this like nice joyous ride, kind of like, it's a nice ride, there's not going to be any big drops in it, and then gotcha bitch, there's this big drop that, like makes your heart sink, and you're just like,
he's really good at he's like a boxer. He's really good at weaving between tones, and you just really never really know where it's going to go in the scene, but it's always really, it's well done each time. It really hits you well. But
I will say this definitely is, to me, it's his funniest film. I think PK and Three Idiots, they get more like heavy in terms of their material, but this is really one of his funniest movies.
Agreed.
Sunil Dutt, I'm so sorry if I'm saying that wrong. He does a fantastic job as the lead main character in this. That's not Sunil. Sorry, Sanjay Dutt is the.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, who plays
as Murli? Yes. So, Murli, Munna, whatever you want to call him.
By the way, do you recognize him?
Sanjay, I do not.
We just saw him in our last movie.
Oh,
guess who
God.
he played? He plays. Actually, I forgot his name, but he plays the Viking in KGF Chapter 2.
This is the Viking.
Yes.
Holy crap!
Yeah. Very cool.
Oh man, he's recovered from stage 4 lung cancer.
What?
Yeah.
The actor?
Yeah.
Whoa! Holy crap! Well, good for him. That deserves an applause.
He was diagnosed with.
Wow.
Yeah. The KGF Chapter 2 came out in 2022. So
that's wild.
Wow.
Good for him, man. Yeah, I hope he's strong and he keeps doing more. That's fantastic. Anyway. Well, cancer. This talk about cancer is actually pretty poignant for this. So
congrats to you. Yeah. That's super poignant. But anyway, yes. I really did enjoy the film. Like I would agree with you. I do have a few gripes about it. That I think are valid. But for a first film, what a job. Again, he has a way of connecting you to these characters and grounding these characters in a certain sort of reality that everyone can sort of be a part of, and bringing you into his world. And he does it so well, better than arguably many directors, especially with the content he deals with. So I do enjoy it. So let's start with things we really liked about the film. What are some of your favorite moments?
Anything that basically has to do with what's his face,
the teacher,
our old friend. What is his name? God, I still haven't learned his name, and I need to, because he's just
Omen Irani.
Omen Irani, is that the actor's name?
That's the actor's name, I believe.
Where is that name? I can't see it. Sorry, I just want to make sure. Bowman? Yeah, Bowman. Bowman, probably. Yes, Bowman, whatever. Bowman Irani. Again, the movie, like Three Idiots, he plays basically the same character. He's the head. He's the establishment, right? Just to put it into overall terms, it's like clearly the director loves this whole anti-establishment, quirky against the sort of rigid structure, right? Like that's the overarching kind of thing.
Yeah.
And here he is again playing the headmaster of this medical school that Murli is trying to cheat his way into, and it's just this fight. It's just like this. What's the cat and mouse? Tom and Jerry. It's like a Tom and Jerry situation where he's just trying to nail this guy, trying to get him out of the school, and Murli does everything in his power to make sure that he does not get out of that guy's side. And it's just every time it's about them, it's just fantastic because they're both fantastic actors, and the push and pull between them is what really is ironically the heart of the film, because it is always about whether or not you want him to like him, you want them to get along. And it's just so all the moments where they're just in his office where he's trying to fire him, I think are just really fantastic. And they gave Bowman this wonderful little quirk where he's going through laughter therapy. So every time something stressful occurs, he has to laugh, and he plays those moments so incredibly well. So Bowman coming back, I mean, obviously a staple of director Hirani's has to use him in every movie, and that's totally fine with me. Any scene with him is absolutely fantastic.
Completely agree. He's fantastic. I can see how he's probably your favorite part. I think our favorite character of the film. My favorite character actually is Circuit. I think he is the best character in the movie. Yes. This guy is willing to do anything for Miraji, and just like I just love the friendship that they have, especially like when they're the drunk nights. It reminds me of like two best friends when they're having a really bad day. They go just get drunk and they're not making any sense. You know, there's the ending scene where he's like, I'm so drunk I see my mom, and he goes, I'm really drunk too, I see her too. And he said, do you wish your dad is here too? And you know, there's the end line where he has a kid and the kid's named Short Circuit. I mean, I love that. I really liked his character. I really liked that he was always there for him.
He's an unsung hero of the movie, for sure. Yes. He would be nothing without... Murli would be nothing without him. Nothing.
Yes, he's hilarious.
He does everything for him. He's always like the guy, and he has no qualm, no matter whatever it is, whatever Murli asks for, a body to dissect, That was one of my favorite scenes where they go after this I guess he's Chinese or some other kind of Asian.
Yeah, the Chinese tourist. Is being so racist.
And he was being so racist.
I'm only here to see poor people.
And you cannot have that in a movie anymore, but like... No. But I don't even see why not. It was clearly just like racism for joke's sake. It's just like, what? Yeah. Of course, it's fun. You know, I don't know, whatever. I don't want to get into that. But yes, I mean, you're right, 100%. Circuit was a great character to add, and he really feels a step above most sidekicks in movies, because he's just, you know, you really feel like he really matters to him. Yeah. And their relationship together fuels each other, and they really do matter, instead of like, oh, he's just like an extra character. So and then, you're right. What a name too. So ridiculous.
I really love his line that he tells everybody, dump the tension, bro.
Dump the tension. Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, like that's actually, you know, it fits in with the rest of his films. Like everybody, like in PK, he has the wrong number, you know, like when he's talking about religion. Right. Yeah. So like, obviously, like that's like a staple of his filmmaking. And this was another one. He's telling everybody to dump the tension. And he's obviously, now we'll go into other highlights of the film. You got any more you want to talk about? You want to talk about Sunday?
I mean, I just want, I mean, again, I can't tell you enough how much like I love the filmmaking of this movie. You can just tell, there are just movies where you can tell the director knows what he wants. And so you feel like you're being taken through a scene rather than being showing you the scene and just having to live it. So, for example, there's a lot of usage of blocking and weird angle, like Dutch tilts in this movie that in the hands of another director, I don't know would be as effective. But like when you talk about like timing and pacing, there's a scene, I think it's the second item number, where Murli is talking about a past love that he had to help out one of the patients to get over the suicide kid. And that was like one of the best item numbers I'd ever seen, and it just comes at you randomly, and it's not even so much a song as it is another story, and they just use the the method of the song to get you into it. And I loved it. It was like the first time I was actually kind of really paying attention at a song, because it was more than a song. And in the song, like you're cutting in and out between the current moment and like just a dream sequence, and then some of the characters from that moment are in that moment and in that dream, and the Dutch tilt's kind of like going in and out of itself. It's just like Dutch tilt, it's it's so stylized, but it's all for a purpose, and you just can't help but love this moment that you're in, because you feel like you're experiencing something, you know, outside. Like when I was doing filmmaking in school, like we call it like magical realism. It's this hyper exaggerated state where it's like stranger than fiction, and yet it's grounded in reality. Like you understand what's happening, even though it's so ridiculous, you get it, you know? And you don't see that in film. People don't take big swings like that anymore because they fear that the audience won't understand it. And I just, you know, again, this is 2003, but still, like, I miss that. And he does it really, really well here. He has a strong hand on these, like, really weird, again, stranger than fiction moments. You mentioned earlier, one of the best things about this director is his relatability. Like, he really makes moments that are, though they are exaggerated and weird, like this wouldn't really be happening in the way that it's happening, but it's relatable, and you take it for reality. For example, like when he's moving in to his room, it's just like all these people just coming in and out with just bringing in the refrigerator. Like, that's not how it would happen in real life at all. But you understand what the moment is, and even though it's exaggerated, it's relatable, super relatable. And just it's moments like that I just really love. He's a master at that, as far as I'm concerned. No one else does it like that.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, there's the moments that he's able to. If you go back to that song, you never see the woman's face.
Yes,
because it's the point. He's trying to just get home to the point that I love this woman. She married somebody else. But guess what? Next day, I was on to this person. You know, it worked. Like, that's young love. That's what young love is.
That's right.
And that's okay. So, like, he's able to just convey it in just a very, again, like, it's okay. Over the top, but it's simplistic, right? You know?
Right.
That's why it works.
Yes.
And again, like, I've said it 250 million times, but the reason these movies work so well is because they're simple.
Yeah.
They're simple. They understand that they have, like you just said, he has a point that he wants to make, and I'm going to take you on the ride to make that point, but I'm not going to overcomplicate it. We're not going to go to 6 different universes to make that point. I'm just going to make this point, you know? That's why it works so well. But yeah, that scene was like one of my favorites. I really loved the oh shoot, just left my head for some reason. The scene where he meets the man who is a vegetable for the first time.
Yeah. Oh man, that character.
That character. What an underrated arc that character has.
Yes.
Oh my God.
You're 100% right.
End of the movie.
Yes.
And it's him narrating the whole time.
It's fantastic.
But it starts by here's this man that they're just speaking of like he's nothing.
Yeah.
He's a vegetable. And it's the only person in the classroom to say anything is Worley. He says, hey, he's a person. He's a man. Like, what's his name? He's not a subject.
Mm-hmm.
And he takes him out and he gets him a nice bed. And because they said, I don't want to waste a bed on him, which is another kind of hilarious scene, but also super poignant scene.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Like, you know, and he continues to be this man's friend. He's playing tic-tac-toe with him at one point, and he blinks when he wants to do something. And then there's a scene after where his friend passes away from stomach cancer. This friend who he helped find a woman.
Zahir.
And
yeah,
Zahir, yes.
Too, man.
Yeah, that was a super brutal scene. And he's trying, everybody's on his side for him to pass this test. And he doesn't want to do it because he's like, why should I? Doctors didn't help him and I couldn't help him.
Right.
What's the point? And he's lost and he's broken at that point. And the man who's a vegetable starts rolling his chair, you know, and then you have that really like powerful scene with, I know his name's Bowman, but what was his name in the movie?
Yeah, Dr. Astana?
Astana?
Yeah,
Astana. Dr. Astana. Where he has to listen to his daughter tell him, you're missing the point of what he's doing here.
Yeah. And
he takes that knee and the man smiles at him and he smiles back and he goes, I I guess I am missing the point.
Yeah,
And
right.
it wasn't this big long spiel.
Right.
It was a simple 1-2, one shot, two shot. Now you know. He understands finally. He finally gets it. So like everything with that, man, was one of my favorite scenes. The scene, I love the mini storyline. Love the mini storyline of him kidnapping one of the doctor's fathers so he can pass his head. That storyline is amazing.
Absolutely.
And then he has this knack for like making that little storyline, which you don't think will matter later in the movie, mean so much.
Yes.
Because his father stops eating and his father stops drinking. So he calls Circuit. They bring over the game. By the way, what's that game? What's it called? It looks like it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's like finger billiards.
Yeah. But finger billiards, that's so weird.
That's what it is.
Anyway, and he brings Circuit back to the room where they're taking care of his father. And they just start playing. And the father's able to gain enough strength to get up and play and then start drinking. And then he's hungry. And it's just like, sometimes medicine is right, but there has to be another side of medicine.
Right.
It can't just be, this A-B nonsense.
Right.
Just
this
black,
rigid,
white.
just sort of
Yeah.
institutionalized thing. Yeah, like life is medicine if you live it.
Right. Yeah. Right, exactly. That's the point. Like he has this other way of being a doctor and helping people.
Right.
And it's kind of really special to watch the storyline unfold.
Absolutely. And it becomes that, right? Like the screenplay starts to be built around the idea like here are Murali's patients that he needs to help, and how he helps them is what really becomes the part of the movie in the middle, where like that's how like that's the sort of core message is like,
right.
You know, there's only so much classic sort of medicine can do. At the end of the day, a lot of people really just need to have a human experience, remind them that they're worth something other than the mundane things that we are pigeonholed into on the day to day. And so one of just to be off of that, just one of my some of my other favorite scenes. My absolute favorite scene is with the vegetable patient. I need to give him his name because I don't want to call him a vegetable, but I forgot his name. Sorry, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'll find it.
It's when he takes the stethoscope from the side doctor and he lets the patient hear his own heart. That was such a powerful scene. If there was no other scene shown with that same intention, that's all I would really need to understand what Murali's all about and like the message of the movie. It's like sometimes you kind of just have to be reminded that you exist, and that might be enough just to get you out of any of your ills. It's the same scene as when he hugs the janitor. It's the same thing. Yeah. Right. It's the magic hug. Sometimes people just need to be seen and rewarded for even just the little things they do. I think the institution here is not just about the medicinal big pharma. It's more so like the position that we give them, right? We give a lot of these institutions really high positions in our lives, thinking that they're our answer to everything, when in fact it's not that at all. You really just need some like interaction, whether it's with a random person or if you just need a simple thank you or whatever. It's like just being acknowledged that you are human like anybody else. And that's like the big message, and it's just like that's the movie for like, and that's fine. I don't mind that. It's just it's really great. So
and when you go to like the cancer patient who unfortunately does lose his life, he still helps him rekindle happiness. He still gives that to him, and at some point, like, that matters. That's when you are going to lose your life, at least you go out happy and with some form of life that you wanted to live, and he helps him achieve that, and which is very special. And then another scene that I really loved, when we already spoke about the mother and the son who tried to commit suicide with the number, but we don't talk about the scene prior to that, where it's his first day of school and he's looking to go somewhere, and this poor kid is dying, and they said, hey, you need to fill out a form first. And this doctor tells him, well, he has to fill out a form. So he has this moment where he just clicks, and he grabs him by the throat and he pushes him up against the wall, and he says, you're going to help this kid. Go help him. So he does. Because he said, he like threatens, like, what if I beat you to a pulp? Do I need to fill out a form first for you to get help? And like that scene is so like powerful because like I've been in a hospital.
Right.
Where I had like a broken nose. I was literally bleeding on the floor and they wouldn't help me. They were like, you need to fill out a form first.
I'm glad you brought that up because, you know, I have a story similar to that. And thankfully, quote unquote, it's not about me, quote unquote, knock on wood, that it's not about me. But, you know, without naming people and names, like there's a period where I was in and out of ER with someone else that needed to be in the ER. And the story's not even about him. But it's about who the people I would see coming into the ER where I'm telling you, man, there's plenty of things I've seen, but one of the things that stick out was somebody came in just literally completely disheveled and as if like they needed an exorcism because they had taken too much of a certain drug. And they looked like they could literally just like their soul would leave their body at any moment. And just the sort of like coldness that the people sterile. It's so sterile. That's exactly the word. The whole thing is just so sterile. It's just like, okay, go sit down. Like there was no, it was like transactional, right? It wasn't like, oh, you're a human, I'm a human. You see that I'm in like dire need, like I need help. And just the sort of disconnect there was really disheartening to see. You know, even though I know that there's certain things that must be done, but in that moment, you just see someone who is having such a human reaction, who genuinely needs help, who is probably scared for his life because he doesn't know what to do. Yeah. And just that interaction just really killed my soul because it was just like, what have we become? Like, isn't this what this place is for? Yeah. Like if you need like really dire help, like shouldn't you respond immediately? And to see that it reminded me of that. And there's a point to be made there, I think, you know. But here's a beautiful point I think the movie also offers as a counter. Maybe not a counter, but it doesn't, I don't think there's a bias towards it. So in the beginning, Dr. Astana, yeah, I want to call him Bowman now. Dr. Astana is giving that initial sort of introductory speech to the people, and he points to one of the potential, not the potential, but one of the future doctors, and asks her, like, why are you in this or whatever? What makes you a good doctor? And she goes like, well, I like to treat my patients like their friends, like their family, like their love, whatever. Blah, blah. I want to make a connection with them, and he shuts that down immediately. He's like, no. We're not here to make friends. You know, we're here to save lives. For example, if I have to save my daughter and I have to dissect her, whatever, I have to do surgery on her, my hand would be shaking. I thought that was a good point, right? Like I understood what his point was about that. Like there are moments where you do need to sort of throw away, especially in really important moments, like this person's life is in your hands, and you need to be steady to make sure that this person lives. I know the whole point in the movie is to sort of get away from that, but at the same time, I don't think it like demeans the doctors who believe in that, because I think there's a strength to that as well. It's like, look, I'm not here necessarily to be friends with you, but I want to save the life that you are really close to. And in order for me to do that, I can't be disconnected to them, because otherwise something could go wrong, you know? I love that. So again, I like movies that are unbiased. I think movies that present an argument but don't necessarily answer it for you are one of the better movies. Now, again, of course, the movie does go on to basically glorify the whole idea that, sterile can only go so far. So that is the point, but I also don't think it demeans that. So I think that was important of the writing, and it made sense for that character to sort of put that forth, that I thought made a lot of sense. So anyways, just want to make that.
Okay, well, any other scenes that you want to talk about that you really, really liked about the movie?
Let's see here.
I think we got
There's so many. I mean, again, like this is a great mark of a director. Like every scene has an energy to it, so I could go on forever. But I just wanted to accentuate it is the direction and the set design and the just the way that, you know, when you're in this big place and you're working with a lot of extras, there's always movement happening. It feels like a real place. It feels like there's people here, and there's always he directs the motion of people's actions so well that you're always just kind of keeping up with it, and it's just really wonderful to see. such a great director sort of do that, because it's easy, especially for more experienced inexperienced directors or those who don't have a bigger budget, to just like get rid of all that. Like we'll keep in close, we'll work with 2 or 3 people, whatever, and it just, but the movie just doesn't have a life for itself, you know. But this guy really knows how to work with bigger sets, multiple large scale people, and he's really good at it.
This is his first movie. Most people's first movie is like a well condensed film. Like it's like, hey, it's controlled. It's in a simple setting. There's not multiple sets. There's not 100 extras on screen at any given moment in time. No, that's not that. This is way different.
It's such a feat. I mean, I'm sure he felt on top of the world, because it looked like someone who'd been directing for decades. Yeah. And that just goes to show that he's such a goat. Okay. Anyways, that's all I had to say for that.
Okay. So you want to talk about any gripes about the film?
I do, because I think there are a few.
Okay. What you got?
Because as much as I think that he's the GOAT, he's not impervious to criticism, and so there are some that I had, and they're ultimately very minor. There's nothing that makes or breaks the movie here for me at all.
Okay.
But one small one I would say is that like the music accompaniment for most of the scenes are very 2003, and so I'm sure it's a thing of its time, but a lot of it is just very sort of things that you would maybe find on a music bed website.
You had the same note for PK, by the way.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah. So it might be a thing with this director. You had the same note for PK.
Thank you for bringing that up. I don't even remember making that criticism. So maybe it is. So maybe that's a criticism, and that is just about him. I mean, it's just like his music producer is just like not, whatever. It's okay, whatever. It's fine. It's not. It doesn't hurt it too much, but it just seems a little. I don't know. It's too cheesy for me sometimes.
I feel you.
The big one for me, the big criticism I have here is, I don't know if the Zahir cancer patient moment was the right placement, because he is like the last patient, but he's also given like the least amount of time to live. He's like given like a day essentially, although it's more than that.
Right.
And I also because the item number, I don't know. There was just something about that whole thing that didn't feel the most appropriate to me. It just felt off. Like he just found out he had 1 day to live, and like they bring I don't know. She's not a stripper. She's just like a beautiful woman who dances. And I get what they were trying to say. I don't know. If I was just told I had cancer and 1 day to live, I don't know if that's like the one thing I would go. Like, I want to see my mom. Like, I thought the whole thing with him was that he would give him his mom. That's what I thought. Like, because that's what I would want. As much as like sex is great, like, I don't know. There was just something about, okay. So if they had just placed that sooner, I think I would have given the item number a bit more leeway there, but it just felt so, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Am I crazy? Is that weird? I don't know.
I can see that point. I think the whole point was that, like, they made a point to say he's never even been with a woman.
I know, but like, dude, tell me.
He's given his whole life for his family.
I understand, but I don't know. Yeah, whatever. I want to see if I had a day or whatever, I'd want to see my mom though. I'm just saying, like, maybe that first, and then the woman second.
Therapist about that.
And then he never sees his mom. So like,
no, she doesn't make it.
That's why I'm just like, I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know if that like was as smooth of a.
His mom's, I think, is like on a.
I don't know.
A pilgrimage.
She wasn't there. The mom wasn't there.
He's on a pilgrimage, right?
I don't know. I don't remember. Sorry. Yeah, that's true. Maybe that's true. Okay.
He says the mom's on a pilgrimage, but it just I don't know. Wedding.
That felt like the most artificially like written part. Like I just felt like that could have been written better a little bit.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. It just had me going like, is that really what the immediate sort of like, I don't know.
The need should have been. I forgive that one. I actually didn't like Chinky's last item number.
Sure. I agree with you on that too.
So totally. To me, I think we're on the same page. It was one item number too much.
Like, I agree. Yep.
At this point, I understand that she loves him. She has fallen for him. How could you not? Look at the man he actually is. He's not just this simple criminal ruffian. You're judging the book by its cover. I don't need them. I love a good item number. I do. You're not gonna find an American more happier when an item number comes on. I did not like that one. I was like, I don't need it. This is 5 extra minutes of the movie I didn't need.
You're 100% right. I couldn't agree with you more. That was my next one. Is like, if we were talking about item numbers, the Chinkies one just didn't feel necessary at all.
Yeah,
like
it felt forced in.
It felt super forced. I like the idea that when we went to the item numbers, it felt like it was from Merle's perspective, because he's the one. He's the one with like sort of this power. He's the magic hug, so it makes sense for him to go into these moments. But for her, I was like, what?
And then necessary. Like we're in a spring. It what's so fanatical.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't.
It
like
felt
this.
so shoehorned in. I was just like,
so shoehorned in. Yeah, this was rough. That's my one biggest gripe.
And if I were to get rid of one, it would be in that one versus the item number, because at least that has an ending to it. It has a purpose. But this one just did not feel like it needed to be there.
No, whatsoever. This one I was like, this needs to go. I don't like this one.
It needs to go. Yeah.
But other than that, I didn't have many other gripes with the film. Because that one would have solved making the film a little less long, but I don't feel like the movie was too long.
I do have a slight con, because my last little con about the movie has to do with that. I think you make a point there. I do think that I'm glad it didn't go over long. That being said, I do feel like the wrap up felt a little quick. It just felt like it could have used a couple more beats, just a little bit more beats. Yeah. Like it just felt a little too quick. So that's the only thing.
No, that's super fair.
Just tiny bit. Take out the music, put a little bit more scenes.
You're right about that, because it cuts from the scene where he's broken down man because the hero's passed away and he didn't get to even chance to see his mom, and all he asks is don't make his mom fill out forms. And then he leaves the room. Chinky has her speech. The professor has his moment of, oh, I'm wrong. And then next thing you know, we're with Circuit and,
correct.
And him, and he's just drunk.
Yeah, he's just drunk. And then you realize that his father's there and the mother's there.
Like, why did the parents know so quickly that he's
correct? How did they know he was so great?
Yeah.
There's like, I felt like there need to be at least 1 or 2 more scenes there.
Right.
It just felt so quick. And I think what it might have been that dance number, because it just really didn't you didn't need that at all.
No, yeah.
So
I did not need to
ditch that, get a couple more scenes there that make a little more, wrap it up a little better, and then would have been a fine ending. But it felt too quick. It felt a little bit too quick. And I did think it did need a scene between Merle and Dr. Astana. I wanted a scene where Astana, I don't know,
forgave him.
Yeah, because they share a lot of scenes together. They do, and that's fine. So it just was odd to not see the moment, the moment where Astana gives him his due, not being there. That being said,
for sure,
he makes this Hirani, what's the word? He makes up for it in Three Idiots, because you get that amazing scene between the Bowman's character in that and PK, or not PK, what's his name?
Amir Khan.
Amir Khan.
Yeah.
And where that was an amazing scene. So
you get
he learned
a lot
from
of
that. You needed that, especially when the movie really is between these two characters. Like you needed that scene. I think he could have used that. Yeah.
That suicide scene still sits with me. I still think about that scene
100%.
when he tries to kill himself, when he jumps out the window.
Oh,
I was just like, I was not expecting that. Anyway, we're not talking about Three Idiots.
No.
Okay, so to wrap this all up, I just want to just throw this out there.
Sure.
What are your expectations for Donkey?
Oh.
Now that we're 3 films in, I think I have a pretty good idea that this movie's probably going to break us a little bit, or you.
Yeah. Probably me.
So what are your expectations?
I at this point, it's not too far-fetched to expect the thematically what these movies have been about to basically be what Donkey should be around as well, which is what I would expect to be like. Immigration's going to be the sort of institution, right?
Right.
The sort of the institution that are going to try to bring down, not bring down, but like reason with, like make
change.
More. Yeah, exactly. Change, some positive change, some updates. And then you have this band of characters that are going to be that should feel similarly they should have an energy with themselves. They're gonna have a great chemistry with each other, and they're gonna use each other to sort of learn about each other in their own ways and uplift each other to sort of bring down to give a new perspective, hopefully bring a different perspective on the migration politics. That's sort of what I'm more or less expecting, and and I can't see why based off the trailer, how that screenplay couldn't fit with the ones that he's done here for Munna Bhai and
so this
PK and all that stuff. So
I asked that question so I could say this. This is the first Indian film since we started this journey that I'm going into with incredibly high expectations.
Sure. Fair.
I had high expectations for Jawan. I still haven't seen it. Obviously, I was in Italy. Couldn't find a screening. Screening I did find was Italian dubbed. I can't read Italian. So, whole thing. Anyway, this is the first movie I have very, very, very high expectations. Like Animal, I didn't know what to expect. I was excited to see Ranbir. But like in terms of like seeing a director, loving his work, seeing a actor, loving their work, it's got me very, very, very excited. I mean, we have SRK, we have this director. I'm very excited to see this movie. I'm excited to see what can happen, and I'm excited to be excited, Ed.
Yeah,
because
that's
American cinema. I don't have a lot of excitement for these movies coming out anymore in America, so I'm excited for it. So
I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. Everything you said, I'm 100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, that was simple, sweet. Again, thank you so much for liking, subscribing. Thank you for watching the Fighter music video reaction. Thank you for watching KGF reaction. Solar reaction trailer. Sorry that got pulled down. YouTube doesn't want us to leave it up. I don't know why.
Make money.
Yeah, they don't want us to make money. But anyway, tomorrow we have a Godzilla -1 review coming, and then Saturday we'll try to get out one of them. But Solar will most likely be first, and then Donkey. And thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing. We'll see you guys later.
See ya.